Namaste, it's Jackie. So welcome, we're going to do some yoga together. So take a moment to get yourself situated. If you have a yoga mat, you can set that out on the floor. You want to have enough room to lie down and to stretch your arms up over your head. If you don't have a mat, it's fine. Just lie down on the floor, it's fine. Take a little time to get yourself settled. So you could close the door of the room that you're in, turn off your phones and devices. So you can take this little bit of time for yourself, maybe the next 30 or 40 minutes, to do a little self-care, to focus on yourself. We're going to start our practice today in a seated position. So I recommend that when you're sitting, that you sit up on something. Raising the hips up when you're sitting helps to keep the spine nice and tall. You could sit on a yoga block if you have one. I have a couple of blankets here. I find that's about the right amount of support for me. If you tend to have a little bit of tightness in the hips, and when you sit, your knees are up high like this, raising the hips up more will make it more comfortable. You could also just sit like this with your knees bent. We're going to do some side-to-side movements to start. So sit well. Take a moment, again, to get yourself settled. And you can do the cross-legged position here if you like. Try to get the knees even with your hips or a little bit below your hips if you can, if you want to sit with your legs crossed. Begin to rock around. And notice, we're just beginning to notice our bodies. So you can make some circles, you can rock, you can notice how it feels to sit. In our modern world, we don't sit on the floor that much, and the best way to get your body comfortable sitting on the floor is to sit on the floor. So if you watch television or if you're doing some activities where you're seated and you typically sit on a chair or the sofa, you can sometimes sit on the floor. Get your body accustomed to that. All right, so see if you can center your weight so that your shoulders are over your hips, and as much as possible you lift the chest, let the head lift up, and you feel these feeling of lengthening in the different parts of your spine, so the neck and the rib cage and then down in the low back. I'm going to just lengthen up. Take an inhale while you're sitting up nice and tall and shrug your shoulders. And on your exhale, let out a good sigh. And again, nice inhale, shrug your shoulders. And then a good sigh. And then let your arms begin to lift up over your head. Inhale here. Lift your eyes. And on your exhale, breathe out through the nose, let your arms float down. We're going to do that a few times so that we can start to think about coordinating our movement with our breathing. So as you inhale, breathe through your nose, let your arms lift up. Go as slowly as you can. And then exhale down, softening the eyes as you soften your hands. So inhale up. See if you can see your fingers and your peripheral vision. And then see your hands at the top. And then exhale down, still seeing your hands out to the sides and your peripheral vision. And a couple more. This is the in-breath, long spine, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes. This is the exhale, softening the eyes down, letting the shoulders relax. So we're going to change the movement a little bit this round. So inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, we're going to lean to the right. Let your right hand come over to the floor and let your other hand drape over your head. And then inhale, everything back up to the center. And then exhale over to the left, letting that hand touch the floor and your right arm drape over your head. And we'll do that again to each side. This is the in-breath. Lift your chest, lift your eyes. Exhale over. Again, breathing slowly, moving slowly. Inhale, lift. And exhale over to the left side. Inhale, lift, and we're going to go over to the right side and stay over there. If it's not easy for you to touch the floor, you might prop your floor up a little bit. You can put your block there under your hand. On your inhale, next time you inhale, reach your arm over your head and peek up at the ceiling under your armpit. And on your exhale, bend that elbow, hug it behind your shoulder, and look down at the floor to the right. And do that again. Inhale, reach your arm over your head, peek up at the ceiling, explore the left side, left shoulder, Exhale, bend the elbow, pull your belly in, look down at the floor. And inhale. We do this movement in other positions. Interesting to do while you're sitting on the floor. Exhale, bend your elbow, look down. Inhale your arm over your head one more time. On your exhale, just let that raised arm come down. And on your inhale, sit up. Pause for a moment, lengthening up through the spine, and notice the two sides of your body. You could notice your neck. You might even turn your head side to side a little bit. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So both hands up on the in-breath. Now this exhale, we're going to let the left hand come over to the floor and the right arm drape over the head. And inhale, reach more. Maybe you lift your eyes. Exhale, bend that elbow, tuck it behind your back. Let your head turn down. Look down at your left hand. And then inhale, reach it over your head, look up. Exhale, bend your elbow, look down. Still breathing slowly. Inhale, reach. What do you feel on the right side? Exhale, elbow bends. And then we'll reach one more time. Big inhale. You could spread the fingers a little bit. You can look up. On this exhale, just bring that arm down. Sit back up on your in-breath. And again, take a pause, a moment to notice the sensations on the two sides of your body. And then we'll do 3 rounds where we just lift both arms up. So with your breath, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Can you see your fingers and your peripheral vision? Can you look at them up over your head? Exhale down. Don't strain your neck. If lifting your eyes like that is not comfortable, just look straight ahead. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Take a moment to move your shoulders, and then we're going to transition onto our hands and knees. So take a moment. You might find it helpful to just stretch your legs out and move your knees and ankles. Sometimes when you're sitting a long time, the feet get a little tight. So when we come onto hands and knees, you may find it helpful to use one of those blankets or whatever you were sitting on to pad your knees. Feel free to get the support that you need for your body. We're going to come to the tabletop position here. We're going to line the hips up over the knees and the hands right under the shoulders here. Inhale, lift your chest and your eyes. Exhale, draw the navel in so the back starts to round, and then fold back to child's pose so that your elbows touch down and your hips fold back toward your heels. And on your in-breath, glide back up. And you can think about pulling your hands toward your knees to help with that. Exhale, belly in, fold back, elbows touch, hips folding back any amount that's comfortable for you. Let your elbows touch. Inhale up to tabletop. Good. Exhale back. All right, so we just did some movements in sitting, inhale to tabletop, for our upper back and shoulders, and we're going to explore another movement for that area of the body here on our knees. So this one's called thread the needle. So take your right hand on the inhale out to the side and lift it up, any amount. And on the exhale, we're going to bring it down and slide it under the opposite arm. You could touch your wrist, your elbow, or even your shoulder to the floor. And then inhale all the way back up, watching your hand as you open up to the right side again. So 2 more like that. Exhale, hugging in the belly as you do the little twist. Go where you can. Inhale back up, watching your hand with your eyes. Exhale through, threading the needle. Fine if you only touch your elbow or your wrist down. Inhale back up. Now this time, when you bring your elbow down, I'd like you to put your right elbow down right underneath your right shoulder. And I've got my forearm across my mat and the palm facing up. And I'm just going to lean into the right shoulder, right hip a little bit, see what I feel. And then walk that right elbow over toward the middle of your mat. So 3-4 inches, and then lean again. Just exploring this side. Do that again, walk your elbow over just a little bit more, so you're still on your elbow. And then you may just stay there. That could be pretty interesting. If it's interesting for you and okay for your shoulder to go deeper, you can slide the arm through further. You could put your shoulder down on the floor. Notice your feet. If they're coming together, try to keep them apart. And if you are choosing to put your shoulder down on the floor, it's okay if you're not, notice your neck. So this puts the head in a pretty weird position. So I can't put my head down because of the microphone, but you can put your head down if you like. And then please inhale back up to all fours. Now notice the two sides. Exhale back to child's pose. And inhale up to tabletop. And before we do that to the other side, please stand up on your knees. You can tuck the toes under here if it's helpful. And we're going to do a movement where we're going to take the arms over our head forward. So inhale your arms forward and up. Here you can do almost a little back bend. You can lift your eyes. You can push your hips forward. And then exhale, eyes down. As the hands lower down, pull your belly in. And do that again. Inhale, open. Exhale down. And you may be aware that the right and the left side maybe feel a little different since we did the twisting movement on one side, not on the other. Exhale all the way down. And then we're going to come back to hands and knees and do the thread the needle on the other side. So I'm just going to turn around so I'll be facing you when we do the left arm. So put your hands right under your shoulders, stack up your hips over your knees, and inhale your left arm out to the side. Watch it if you can. On the exhale, sweep it down, pull your belly in, let your wrist, elbow, or shoulder touch the floor, and inhale back up to the center, opening. And do that again. Exhale through. So a little pressure on the belly, a little squeeze as we twist. Inhale back up. Again, exhale through. And inhale back up. And now we'll explore that left shoulder, left side. So when you exhale down, place your left shoulder right underneath your left elbow, under your shoulder. And lean into that side with your hip and your shoulder. And then slide that hand through a little bit further, maybe to the center of your mat. Again, leaning. See what you notice. It may be all the way down the side of your body here. Walk it over maybe so that your elbow is underneath your right armpit, still on your elbow for now. And then maybe that's enough and you stay right there. If you want to go further, you could put your shoulder on the floor, maybe your head on the floor. Breathe. And the feet, are they together now? Can you pull that left foot back over? What's happening in your left hip? Now inhale back up to the center. Exhale back to child's pose, noticing the two sides. Inhale, center. And come up to stand on your knees again. We'll start to open up the front of the body. So as we did on the other side, we're going to inhale both arms up. Lift your chest, lift your eyes. Exhale down. So noticing your shoulders after those movements. If you have some things going on in your shoulders, a variation would be to bend the elbows and lengthen them up this way. And to bend them on the way down. For some people that helps. It uses different muscles in your shoulders. So if this hurts your shoulders, if this is not real accessible for you, try this variation with bending the elbows. It's pretty interesting. One more repetition, whichever way you're going up is fine. And exhale. Good, just noticing the hips now. We're going to put the hands back down on the floor and push up to the downward facing dog pose. After that little back bend, it may feel quite nice. Spread your fingers, tuck your toes, and on the exhale, push your hips up. Holding in place, push down through your hands, lift up through the hips. You may have your knees bent a little bit here, or you could pedal out your legs, walking your heels down toward the floor one at a time, sometimes called walking the dog. See how that feels.
And then with a lot of awareness of your breath, we're going to push up and down between the tabletop position, hands and knees, and this downward dog. So please inhale as smoothly as you can, your knees down to the floor, lift your chest and eyes. Hug your belly in, and on the exhale, as slowly as you can, push back up to your dog pose. Do that again. Inhale to your knees. Exhale, push back up. I'm going to give you two variations here. So this one, you could inhale to your plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists. Use your belly as you exhale back to dog pose. That's one option. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale back to dog. You could keep doing that. You could go back to tabletop. Inhale your knees down to the floor. Exhale back up to dog pose. If you did the plank, you may have stepped your feet back a little bit, so you may want to bring them back in. Another option, a little less weight on the shoulders, is to exhale child's pose. Inhale tabletop. So lots of options here. So exhale tabletop, exhale child's pose, inhale tabletop. You could inhale tabletop, exhale downward dog, or inhale plank pose, exhale downward dog. See what your body needs. And then from wherever you are, please come to tabletop and then lower your elbows down onto the floor. And you may want to massage your wrists or circle your fists to get the wrists, especially if you were doing a lot of dog pose or plank pose. You can let your hips sway here. And then we're going to come up to standing. You can just push yourself up to standing. And if you do have padding under your knees here, you can slide that out of the way. Good. And once you come up to standing, give things a little shake, your feet, your shoulders, and we're going to swing a bit so you can step your feet out shoulder width apart and swing. This is called empty coat sleeves, and you want the arms and hands to be a little floppy, and if you can, let them wrap around and tap your back. Turn your head, turn your eyes, and then come to mountain pose, Tadasana, lining up the joints, standing tall. So at the beginning when we were sitting, we were trying to notice all the different parts of the spine lengthening up. And how does it feel here to stand tall? And just a moment to notice how you feel. Good. We're going to do one movement with a little bit of energy in our standing position. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my back. We'll still have the feet hip width apart. This is a good place to use a yoga block if you have one. It's fine if you don't, but you can put the yoga block in between the upper legs, in between the thighs, the femur bones. Helps to keep the joints lined up and helps us to firm up these leg muscles. So starting with the hands on the hips, inhale here. On the exhale, we're going to sink back into chair pose. So hug your belly in, send your hips back like you're going to sit down in a chair. Let your upper body lean forward, and you can just slide your hands down your legs the first couple of times. Inhale back up to standing. Get as tall as you can. Exhale, belly in. If you're using the block, you can hug lightly your legs toward the block. Inhale. That may help you with a little abdominal engagement. Okay, so this time as you exhale down, please lift your arms forward about the height of your shoulders. And as you inhale back up, lower your arms back down. We're going to try 3 different variations for that arm position. So this time exhale down and lift your arms up. We'll call this cactus arms. So the elbows are bent, shoulder blades hugged together. Inhale back up, lower your arms down. How did that feel for your shoulders? Okay, this one exhale down, lift your arms up, maybe all the way up beside your head. And then as you inhale up to standing, you can lower your arms. So the next one we're going to sink down into the pose and hold for one breath. And you can choose one of those 3 arm positions. I'm going to do cactus arms. So inhale in place. Exhale down into your seat. Lift your arms, either cactus arms straight ahead or up by your head. Hold on the exhale. Can you get some weight in your heels? Hold on your inhale, lift your chest a little. Exhale here, and then stand up on your inhale. You can lower your arms back down. I think that was really 2 breaths. So we're going to do that one more time. So sink down on your exhale. Inhale your hands up. Hold on your exhale, pull your belly in. Inhale, can you lift your eyes? One more exhale. And on your inhale, this time as you come up, see how it feels to lift your arms up over your head, and you might even lean back a little bit. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Good. Take your block out if you were using that. Stand tall, notice your body, notice how you feel. All right, to continue to do a little bit of work for our legs, we're going to do a little balance pose. It is maybe helpful to have something nearby. I'm close to a wall. I could touch the wall. You could have a chair. You could be close to a wall. You could also stand off of the mat onto a firmer surface, because standing on one foot sometimes a little wobbly. So we're going to do a little movement that mimics walking. So I'm going to shift my weight to my left foot, and on the inhale I'm going to lift my right foot up like I'm going to take a step, and the left arm, opposite arm, is going back. And on the exhale, I'm going to take that foot back and the arm forward. And you could just touch the toes to the floor here. That's fine. Inhale, foot forward, arm back like you're walking. You can lift the knee higher if this is a little easier. And then the leg back and the arm forward. You're welcome to just keep your foot close to the floor, or you could kind of lean into this a little bit. We're going to do 3 more breaths. So you can do small movement. Exhale, or you can start to increase the range of movement, letting your leg go way back and your arm go way forward. Inhale, knee lifts, arm back. So looking at the floor or something that's not moving will help with your balance here. Of course, you can hold on. One more inhale, lift the chest, lift your knee higher if you can. One more exhale. This is mimicking the warrior 3 pose. The leg goes back, but one arm is forward. And inhale, back up to standing. And you can give your standing leg a little jiggle, a little shake. And then pause for a moment, standing tall, noticing the energy on the 2 sides of the body, the different work of the legs. Both legs were working, especially the standing one. So we'll try that on the other side. Again, feel free to keep the movement small, to hold on to something. We're going to stand on the right foot, and on the next inhale, lift your left foot, right arm back a little bit. And then let that foot go back like you're taking a step. You might even touch the floor, right arm forward. And then the foot comes forward, and the arm goes back like you're walking. Exhale. See what you feel on this side. You can start to let the movement be bigger. So my right ankle is injured, so this is a little more challenging on this side. So just see what you notice. And then back to the center. We'll do 2 more breaths here. You can lift your knee higher if you like. And then you just see. Maybe you only go forward a tiny bit. Maybe you come all the way forward like the warrior 3 position. One more. Lift the leg on your inhale. Arm back. Chest lifts. Belly in here. Exhale, just looking at your focal point to help with your balance. And the next inhale, just make your way up to standing. Put both feet down. Jiggle and wiggle. You can bounce and shake. You can do your empty coat sleeves. Again, if you like, that swinging movement can be quite nice. This is a great movement to do anytime. All right, and then we're going to do one more downward facing dog pose, but a different variation. We're going to step the feet out wide. So just with facing the long edge of your mat, step your feet out pretty wide distance. Sometimes I like to line my heels up on the back edge of the mat so I have my feet even. And then like we did in our chair pose, you can inhale here and exhale, bend your knees, and you can just slide down until your hands can touch the floor. So before we walk the hands forward, it may feel nice to kind of pedal out your legs, bending one knee, straightening the other. We did this in our dog pose. We were walking the dog.
But with the legs wide, now you can explore the sensations in the inner thighs, maybe the outer ankles. And then centering the weight, hips in line with your heels. They're not shifting forward. Then walk your hands out like downward dog. So in this variation, you get a nice stretch in your back. Bending the knees may be helpful. There's not quite so much weight on the hands. You could probably pick up your hands, you may notice. And then if you like, you can even let your head just hang down toward the floor and turn your head side to side. Sides can be good too. Take a couple more breaths. Again, bending the knees here can help stretch out the low back nicely. So from here, we're going to come back down to the floor. So you're welcome to just walk your hands in and your feet can come in and just put your knees down, come back down, and we're going to lie down on our back. So first time we've been lying down today, you can come onto your back. You may want to check that you have some space back there to stretch your arms over your head. And then lower your arms down and draw your knees up into your chest one at a time, and massage your back. So you could rock side to side. You could circle your knees around. You could circle the knees together both ways, or you can do different things with the two legs. You can pedal them or move them in circles, but maybe in opposite directions. So pay attention to your back and your hips and see what's nice for you. I kind of like the knees together circles, but see what you like. And then please lower your feet all the way down to the floor. I'm going to do a little twist for the lower body. We did a couple of twists for the upper body today. So here we're going to let the feet walk out to the edges of the mat. So the knees are bent, feet are wide, and we're going to windshield wiper the knees side to side. So exhale, the knees to one side. You could turn the head the opposite way. And on the inhale, let your knees and your head come to the center. And then exhale your knees to one side, your head the other way. And inhale back up. If any of this hurts your back or you're dealing with issues in your hips, you can make the movement small. So you're hardly letting the hips roll up off of the floor. That may be better for your back. If you want to do bigger movement, you can see what you feel. You may feel it in the front of your legs. Couple more. Just like one more to each side. So you exhale to the side, inhale to the center, exhale to the side. And when you come to the center the next time, pause and walk your feet back in so that your heels are now lined up with your hip bones. This is another place where you could use the block, if you have one. This is the thing. It keeps the legs from going out to the sides. It keeps the joints lined up. Helps firm the leg muscles. We're going to do bridge pose a few repetitions, so please let your hands come down by your sides. Take a full breath in. And when you exhale, hug your belly in. You want to feel that abdominal engagement. And when you get to the next inhale, pushing through your heels, let your hips rise up off of the floor any amount. And on the exhale, lower your hips back down, hugging in the belly as you lower. Keep your neck even. Look up toward the ceiling for this movement. Inhale. You may feel that lengthening along the back of the neck even. Exhale down. If you like, remember we lifted our arms over our head when we were standing on our knees. So if you like, you can lift your arms up as you lift your hips up. Exhale all the way down with the hands and the hips. Maybe they touch at the same time. And do two more. You can lift the arms or not. It's fine if you don't do the arms, if your shoulders are tired. Exhale down. And inhale up. If you like, you can stay at the top. On the inhale, you might try to lift your hips a tiny bit more. And on the exhale, as you hug your belly in, you might try to maintain that height. When you feel ready, which might be now, let an exhale bring you down. Arms can lower too. And if you did use the block there, you can take it out. Gently draw your knees into your chest one at a time and massage your back again. So like we did before, rocking, circles. You might even kind of like to shake your feet, shake your legs, shake your hand, just shake off all the effort as we begin to shift toward the relaxation part. You can lower your feet back down one at a time, and to let the legs rest, you can keep the knees bent. Many people find it helpful to have the feet a little wide and the knees touching. But see what's good for you. This is puts the back in a pretty neutral, comfortable position. You can rest your hands on your belly. And now just gazing, letting your gaze be soft, looking at one spot, or perhaps even closing the eyes. And letting go of any effort to breathe, any effort in the body. So your body knows how to breathe on its own. You don't have to try to control your breath. And feeling the weight of your head, the weight of the arms, the weight of your back, the weight of your legs, all supported by the floor, supported by the earth beneath the floor. If it's helpful to keep the knees bent, you could just stay in a position like this, or you could stretch your legs out flat. If lying flat is not comfortable for you, you could put the blankets under your knees, you could keep your knees bent, and then you might enjoy having your hands touching, you might have your hands by your sides. So we begin to shift toward Shavasana, our relaxation pose. A sigh, just letting go. So please give yourself permission to rest your body. There's nothing to do. Just be comfortable, be still. I'll say a closing message, a closing prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. And may we all live with ease. May we all live in peace. I strongly encourage you to remain in your relaxation pose for another 5 minutes, even 10 minutes. And if lying still is a little challenging for you, you really want to hop right up, please try to stay for 12 breaths. It's a good technique to count your breaths. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.